Are you a Kaieteur newspaper advertiser? Well then, we have great news for you. Kaieteur Radio presents a 50% discount on all radio advertisements only for a limited time. To advertise, contact us on 225-8465 or 226-7455 or email us at kaieteurradioads@gmail.com. You can even visit our office at 24 Saffron Street, Charlestown, Georgetown. Kaieteur Radio, covering you from coast to coast.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. The current proven reserves in the Stabroek Block, which total almost 11 billion barrels of oil equivalent resources, along with the string of recent discoveries for 2022, will no doubt produce rapid changes in Guyana's overall economic structure. Now, one of the most immediate effects will be the increase in the country's gross domestic product. However, an increase in GDP does not translate to higher standards of living for citizens, who are the true owners of the oil wealth. In light of this irrefutable fact, the Inter-American Development Bank is once again urging Guyana to place greater focus on ensuring the oil wealth leads to economic transformation and not the mere doubling of GDP. The IDB has warned Guyana to be mindful of falling victim to the dreaded Dutch disease, given the temptation associated with large increase in the country's income. It said such temptations include wild spending on numerous projects simultaneously without regard for the nation's absorptive capacity. It warned that such practices lead to wastage and corruption, which the country must guard against at all costs, or oil could be a downfall. In other news, while serving as opposition leader, Bharat Jagdeo had much to say at his weekly press conferences, where he accused the former coalition government of being secretive when it comes to the management of the oil and gas sector. Now, 2 years later, as the vice president with responsibility for oil and gas in the PPP government, he has yet to prove himself different. This is particularly evident as key information pertaining to the management of the sector remains hidden from the public. This is the case with monthly oil production reports, for example. Kaieteur News publisher Glenn Lal reminded that Jagdeo had at that time chastised the coalition administration for keeping the Guyanese public in the dark. Jagdeo then went on to challenge Trotman to release the necessary information to keep the Guyanese population informed. However, being in command of the oil sector today, Jagdeo has failed to honor the very demands that he had made in the interest of keeping the nation informed. And moving on, ExxonMobil is running full speed ahead with its gas-to-energy pipeline to be constructed at Wales, West Bank Demerara, even as the country remains in the dark regarding the feasibility of the project. Works for the project are slated to commence by August after the oil company receives the requisite approvals to start their aspect of the project, that is, the laying of the onshore and offshore pipelines to transport the gas from the Liza 1 and 2 sites in the Stabroek Block. In the meantime, the company has submitted its environmental impact assessment to the EPA through its subsidiary, ESSO, which will be developing the project. To this end, the developer has 11 planned consultations to hear from the public, commencing on Monday, May 9th. The meetings will take place in Regions 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In other news, the National Mine Workers Union of Guyana is calling on the relevant authorities to investigate allegations of unfair treatment meted out to some Guyanese oil and gas workers who have been sent home from some agencies until further notice. The workers are peeved that all of those who have been sent home are Guyanese, while in particular Trinidadian staffers remain on the job. A statement from the president of the union, Sherwin Downer, said that not only were the employees having problems with available work, but issues also exist regarding payment of their NIS contributions, overtime pay, and availability of safety gear, among other matters. And moving on. Given an apparent difficulty in accessing pertinent information from the government in regard to the oil and gas sector, in particular, opposition leader Aubrey Norton has signaled his intention to up the pressure against the government with the help of a more informed and educated society. Norton is adamant that much more has to be done to hold the current government accountable and is currently on a number of outreaches trying to get matters of serious concern to the public. Norton added that there are a number of ways that the opposition is working to get citizens involved in bringing pressure to the PPP administration so that more assumption could be brought, more information could be brought to the people. He noted that the use of more parliamentary motions, street protest and education drives are among the many avenues being considered. And to wrap things up this evening, let's tell you that a 28-year-old man was killed and his daughters injured when the car he was in crashed into a concrete bridge at Windsor Forest, West Coast Demerara, early Thursday morning. Dead is 28-year-old Kelvin Gisiawan of Samata Point, Grove East Bank, Demerara. He had earlier dropped off his wife at the Pericastelling and was heading back home when his two daughters, when the accident occurred. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising?